Good evening, everyone. This is Ron Tyler with Emergency Management Associates coming to you live from the Crossroads of the West in Salt Lake City, Utah. The time right now is 6:43 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Tuesday, February 4th, 2020. For those of you over on Spreaker, we put the date in as January, but it is February 4th, 2020. We're sorry about that. But we want to welcome everybody that is going to be joining us tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't tell you enough what that means to us tonight. We have been involved in a lot of stuff today, and we are going to be telling you about it in just a couple of minutes here. Sorry about that. All of a sudden, my video started up again, but I was not playing that video for now. But anyway, needless to say, we are here live on the Emergency Management Associates program being broadcast on the Freedom Revolution Network. We want to thank everybody that has tuned in to us tonight, either online here in the chat room or wherever you may be listening to us in various spots, Periscope, D Live, Twitch, or over on the YouTube Freedom Revolution Network channel, because we are on the Freedom Revolution Network channel on YouTube, and we will be posting this program over on our own YouTube channel, Emergency Management Associates. So stay tuned for that, those of you that want to catch it on a delayed broadcast basis. We do appreciate it. Also, those of you that have radios, we are on, we are on iHeartRadio. We are on Pandora. We are on Twitch, where we have 60,000 followers on Twitch. We have followers over on D Live, like I said, Periscope, YouTube. We're now reaching approximately 100,000 plus customers here from the Freedom Revolution Network. And we want to thank everybody for joining us here. It means a great deal to us. It really does. Your patronage of what we are doing spells out the world for us. It really does. Freedom Revolution Network means a lot to us. We are one of the founders of the Freedom Revolution Network. I want to make that very clear. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get in to our chat room so I can monitor the chat. I want to explain a few things to everybody, because there was some confusion over in our Emergency Management Associates chat room last night. The chat room, hold on a second. The chat room was the Discord channel, and we had people that were not happy with us because they did not understand what is going on. And so I'm going to explain it one more time to you. We are not going to go back to YouTube to broadcast live, except possibly, and I repeat, possibly, on a special occasion. It's not going to happen, folks. For those of you that don't understand what no means, it means no. I told you last November that this was going to happen. I told you last November that this was going to happen. And apparently none of you realize that, or some of you have not realized that. We got notified about the 15th of November that we were no longer welcome over on YouTube, and that YouTube was going to cancel quite a few programs off of YouTube, because it did not fit their standards of broadcast excellence, supposedly. And we thought we were going to be part of that. So did many other creators that have left YouTube. We had been buffered. We had been censored by YouTube, meaning when we were live on the air, many times you wonderful people that listen to our program were not able to access our program. And I apologize for that. I apologize for that. And we were constantly being buffered. And then when we found that people were not able to see our entire program because part of our program had been taken off by YouTube, we realized we had to make the Freedom Revolution Network work. And that's exactly what we did. I promise you, that's exactly what we did. And so we came over here to Freedom Revolution Network. We went through some growing pains. And we are here. We're live on the air. We have not left the air. We have tried to put together a program and the equipment and the software necessary to be on the air. And we believe we've conquered the problems that we first faced. We conquered the problems we first faced. For the last while, we have been on the air when we said we were going to be on the air. Yes, tonight was another night that I had some issues where I had to take care of family-related issues, and we did. But we still made it to the air. We still made it to the air. People over on the Discord had issues. And I tried to explain the best I could what was really going on to dispel miscommunications, to let people know what the truth of the matters were. It all centered on YouTube. It all centered on a handful of people that didn't like us going off of YouTube. It did. It centered around a handful of people, and then it got out of hand. And last night on Discord, the EMA Discord channel, these people were bad-mouthing me, bad-mouthing our Freedom Revolution Network, and bad-mouthing the station manager and the webmaster, which I did not appreciate. Some words were said by certain people, and I am not going to name names. Some words were said by those people, bad-mouthing the station manager, bad-mouthing the webmaster, and basically repeating lies. And I can't go with that. And I'm not going to go with that. I promise you, I am not going to go with that. And I didn't. I tried to set forth the truth. There were people that were saying that my broadcast yesterday, that I did yesterday afternoon, was not really me, that it was manufactured by Scarlet Anonymous and Melissa, our webmaster. Those of you that know her as Mel, I call her Mel. She's one of my sisters, and very honestly, she is, as well as many of you are. And I call those of you that have been with us for a long period of time or a short period of time that I know and I've talked to, I consider you brothers. And I do. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I care. I would not be on this radio station or this this venue speaking to you every night if I didn't care. Now, you guys must know that I put in long hours in preparations for this show every day. I put in long hours in preparation for this show since about 8:30 this morning when I started. Yesterday, I had been up for 48 hours without any sleep. The night before last, I couldn't sleep. Then I went all day yesterday without any sleep, did my broadcast, took care of my family, and had an enjoyable night out with almost my entire family. And then came back here to face misery and backstabbing. That's what I'm going to call it tonight. It was backstabbing in the Discord channel. But that's why I wasn't on last night. I did an earlier broadcast and I let everybody know that I was going to try to be on later last night. But because of everything that had happened over on the Discord channel, I did not do that. And I apologize to those of you that were waiting for me to come on late last night, because I was going to come on. But those people continued to badmouth me, badmouth our station manager, badmouth the webmaster, lie to me, and lie to all of us, saying that wasn't really me on the broadcast yesterday. They were telling everybody that I was not the one that was typing in messages on Discord, which I was. Just like I'm facing you tonight. Eye to eye. I'm facing you tonight. One, I'm telling you it was me on Discord. Two, it was me on the video last night. And three, I'm telling you the truth. Those of you that think that you can badmouth the people in charge of the Freedom Revolution Network, you're wrong. And I have the screenshots to prove the truth of everything that has been said. Right, wrong, and indifferent, everything that has been said. I'm not going to lie to you, and I have not lied to you, and I will never lie to you. I will never cover up the truth. I will never slight the truth. I will never tell a white lie. I tell everybody the way it is. And that's the truth. You can take it or leave it. And there are people last night that said things, and I banned them from the chat. I banned them from Discord. And I'd do it again. But people wouldn't stop. And so I warned everyone on Discord, if this continues, I'll delete the Discord channel, which I did. So those of you that have tried to find the Discord channel, it no longer exists. I deleted it, and I do it again. I put that Discord channel up there for everyone to enjoy each other's conversations. I did not put it up there as an avenue for those of you that want to beat me up, for those of you that want to backstab me, for those of you that want to backstab the station manager of this channel and the webmaster. I will not tolerate it. If you want to speak to them, you know their email address. You know a way to contact them, but not at my expense and not at the expense of this show. I'm telling you right now, that's the way it is. If you don't like what we're doing, then there is a button that you can go poop and don't have to listen to our program. That's the long and the short of it. To Terry, I apologize. If there were hurt feelings, I apologize. And yes, I'd like to have Terry back on our program, if that's at all possible. Terry has a lot to offer us, all of us. And I'm serious about that, all of us. But again, I won't tolerate any backstabbing or evil speaking of anyone, period. I don't care whether it's the people from Freedom Revolution or me or anybody else. You're not going to do it at this program's expense or my expense. It ain't going to happen. For those of you that were not part of this, I apologize for my bringing this up again today. I want this to be the last of it. The last of it. To a woman on the Discord last night that may be monitoring this program right now, and that's fine. You have no right to make a backup channel to my Discord channel to stab me in the back with. You don't have that right. You have a right to make a channel, but not a backup channel. And that's what you called it. You were going to make a backup channel to my EMA Discord channel. No, you don't. It's not going to be a backup channel, young lady. And I promise you that. Because if the backstabbing doesn't stop, I will file a cease and desist order against you and any of you that want to continue it. But specifically against you, because you started a quote unquote backup channel to my Emergency Management Associate channel. Yeah, you can start your own channel, but not a backup channel. And that's what you called it. So I'm advising you right now. I have not been to that channel, nor have I sought it out. But if it in any way is an affiliate of what I did, that is part of my company that I have started a lot of years ago before any of you even thought of me doing this program, you're dead wrong. Because I and the station management of the Freedom Revolution Network will file a lawsuit. And I promise you that. Now, I hated doing this. It bothers me to no end to be able to have to speak of this again. Saturday, I did a broadcast, and I talked of this and mentioned specific people by name. I am sorry that I had to mention people by name, but I thought that was going to be the end of it. But some people want to continue bad-mouthing me because I left YouTube. Let me explain this one more time. I left YouTube because of their censorship, their buffering, and YouTube taking my money. Every dime that you good, wonderful people donated to me, YouTube got 60% of it. Fact. I have the 1099 to prove it, and I've talked about that. So that meant I got 40% of everything that you gave me. I consider that robbery. Fact. YouTube has its own advertisers, and they attached my channel. They put advertising on my channel to make money. Why do I, as a creator, then have to pay them in addition to that advertisement? Yes, I signed an agreement when I became a creator, but I didn't realize that they were going to take 60% of everything that I made. Not good. Not good. One, I felt like they were stealing from you, and they were stealing from me. Every dime of what we get here goes back into this program to make it an even better program. I promise you that. But I want the lying to stop. I want the miscommunication to stop. If you have a problem with me, call me when I'm off the air and I'll talk to you about it. And I will be honest with you. To the woman that called me, and you know who you are, I will call you back after this program and we can talk. And yes, I did get your message that you sent to me this morning. We can talk. I have no problem with that. Terry, we can talk. I have no problem with that. But I want to make one point perfectly clear. I am the owner of Emergency Management Associates. Our mantra is to give you the most accurate, timely coverage of emergencies and disasters that we possibly can, which means us vetting the information first, one, to make sure it's true and accurate and timely. Then we will come on the air and give it to you. We do not put information on this network that has not been vetted. And I want to tell YouTube that. Make it perfectly clear. Read my lips. You're not going to tell me or anybody else, nor will any other network tell me or anybody else that our information is inaccurate, untimely, or wrong. We have the articles to back up everything we said. Our information is vetted from many sources, not just one. The other day, somebody accused us of taking information off of YouTube and bringing it to you. Yes, we do occasionally get information from you, from somebody else's YouTube program. But we just don't take that information and rebroadcast it. Not from my mouth and not from their mouth. I vet and we vet every dadgum thing that goes on our air. If it's not tested and found to be accurate and true, it does not go on our air. I promise you that. This is not the mainstream media, the MSM. It's not going to happen as long as I'm alive. It's not. I promise you that. I won't let that happen. If we've made any mistakes on the air, I apologize. Let me know. We can talk. But you're not going to backstab me at my expense. Not going to happen. Or anybody that I care about. Now I've wasted almost 30 minutes trying to clear up problems. If you don't believe it's me on the air right now or yesterday, then there's a switch that you can turn me off. But I'm telling you right now, it's me. And I mean business. I do. I mean business. Everyone that listens to this program means something to me individually and to the people that manage this network. We care, or we wouldn't be here. Fact. We came on this network to do one thing, to bring forth information on public safety. That's why we came on this network. That's why I started this program last year in April. Because of a man named Dutch Sense that said that he was no longer going to do updates on anything, and he wasn't going to do any more forecasts. And I thought, somebody's got to give information about earthquakes and other disasters. And Dutch didn't talk about much of any other disasters or emergencies as I have. I went on the air after that with the sole purpose of filling in the gaps that Dutch couldn't do or wouldn't do. People asked me to continue, and that's what I've done. And I've committed to every night. I have missed 3 nights in 10 months. 3 nights in 10 months. I've sacrificed. My family has sacrificed. In many ways, monetary too, so that I could do this business for you. And it indeed is for you. It has nothing to do with me, other than me vetting it and me giving you the information. That is me. And if you think it's all about me, it's not. But I want to make one thing perfectly clear. We are going to continue this program. We're going to continue to give you the most up-to-date information on earthquakes, volcanoes, storms, no matter what emergency it is, what American crisis or world crisis we have. We're going to cover it, come hell or high water. That I promise you. For those powers that be that think that I'm going to talk about the coronavirus and give you false information, you are sadly mistaken. If you try to take me off the air for covering this crisis, it's not just an American crisis, it's a world crisis, you're sadly mistaken. I am not part of the MSM, and I'm not someone to be kicked around. And that's the truth. I do the best possible job that I can. And many of you have recognized me for doing that. And for that, I appreciate you. And I appreciate the words that you have said. I appreciate the monetary, financial, and other support that you continue to show me and show this network. And we won't let you down. While I'm speaking about that, I got a card the other day that was mailed by Miss Whipple. And she sent some support to us. She's Ohio. Quote, I watch, listen as much as I can. You're working for the Lord by informing us in the world what's going on. God had Noah prepared. There are many in history with better knowledge of what may come. I enclose a little something to help with the program. Love to you and all. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Those of you that have donated on PayPal, including my dear sister and cousin Linda. Thank you very much. And there have been many others that have made anonymous donations on PayPal, and Emergency Management Associates um, on Freedom Revolution Network. For that, I thank you. I got another card today from Marshall. If you have any t-shirts in size 2XL, that would be great to have one. Thank you again, Ron. And he signed it. And he sent a donation besides money for his t-shirt. Myself and Melissa are going to get together after this program or tomorrow and get that order placed so you can get your t-shirt. If any of you want t-shirts, contact Mel through the Freedom Revolution Network, and we'll make sure you get the swag that you want, whether it's a coffee cup, stickers, t-shirts, or whatever it might be. You can get those through our network. Emergency Management Associates at freedomrevolution.com, network.com, freedomrevolutionnetwork.com. We have a store here. You can order them through the store. And there's going to be a lot more merchandise on there that you can get. Not a problem. We want you to have that. You help support our program. We will be holding another contest soon. We'll be holding another contest soon. And you're going to get some free swag. Okay? That is one of the things we promised that we would do for you, and we intend on doing it. That's what we are. We're trying to help you prepare for emergencies and disasters, no matter what it might be. Okay. Now I have told you and thanked those people that have helped support our program, which I deeply appreciate. By the way, those of you that ordered books, we sent the last shipment of books out yesterday. They should be arriving shortly. We hope you enjoy them. We hope that they will help you prepare for emergencies and disasters. That's what the book is all about. We have only a handful more books left. Those of you that want it, it's $20, which pays for the book and shipping and handling, and that's it. That's it. We'll be happy to send those out to you. The book, let me reach back here and get it, show it to you. Sorry about that, folks. It's called It's a Disaster, and What Are You Going to Do About It? It's chock full of emergency preparedness hints and information on how to prepare emergency plans. The first half of it, talks about preparedness planning. How do you write an emergency preparedness plan? It discusses everything from A to Z. The second part of it talks about emergency medicine. What do you do when all heck is breaking loose and either you are injured or other people are injured? Yeah, we covered that, and so does the book. It's a great book to have in your collection, but just don't put it in your collection. Read it, use it for the information that's in the book, and you will be blessed by it. That's what it's there for. Whatever you do when you write an emergency preparedness plan, don't stick it just up on a shelf to gather dust. Take it off the shelf, reread it, revise it, and then exercise. Conduct an exercise with your family or your business to make sure each member of your family and or each employee that you have knows what's in your emergency preparedness plan and how to react in a disaster. Make sure you prepare those people to know what's going on and how to handle themselves and your company and your family during an emergency or a disaster. Your lives and their lives depend on it. When it comes to the emergency medical portion of it, those are given to you as information on how to, one, protect yourself, and two, take care of yourself and others. Please do that. Please do that. All this information is given to you for emergency information and reporting purposes. Okay? We want you to have that information. Also, our network has a sponsor, Patriot Supply. They have food and all sorts of other things, including water purifiers. You can get a water purifier right now for $40. I urge you all to do it, because there's going to soon come a time when you're not going to have water to drink that won't hurt you. So get a purifier. Do it now, or as soon as you possibly can, when you can afford it. I'm not asking you to spend money that you can't afford to spend. Don't cut your nose off to spite your face, but protect yourself. Do what you need to do to protect yourself and members of your family. Patriot Supply. All right. Let's get down to some brass tacks. Let's get down to some brass tacks. Hold on a second. The page I wanted to show you is right there. Okay, it's there. Good. Here you go. Let's talk about earthquakes. Just a short while ago, we had a 5.1 magnitude earthquake within the last 45 minutes in Peru. A 5.1 magnitude earthquake, 36 kilometers, approximately 19 miles southeast of Secura, Peru. Secura, Peru. Okay? This just happened, folks. This just happened. I'm going to bring this up and show it to you. This is near the coast of Peru here. Near the coast of Peru, 36 kilometers southeast of Secura, Peru. We've had other earthquakes, and I'm going to pull this information up on my other map here and show it to you. They have now downgraded it to 4.8, which I don't believe, because even USGS still has this as a 5.1. Let me refresh this page. It's still a 5.1. But some agencies are reporting it as a 4.8. I don't buy it. All right. Let me show you in greater detail where this earthquake hit. It appears that it is in an area that doesn't have a lot of people there. It appears that this is in an area that there are not a lot of people. There are no cities or towns anywhere near it. Now, it was a large earthquake, 30 or about 15 miles, 17 miles, and here it's saying 22 miles. We'll take that. 22 miles southeast of Secura, Sechura, Peru. Now, I have zoomed in here, and I find no cities or towns anywhere near there. Anywhere near there. Now, 22 miles from Secura, Peru, anybody in that vicinity is still going to have felt this earthquake. Even though it was away from the epicenter, approximately 22 miles southeast of the epicenter, no people are going to feel it. There's a possibility of some large shaking to be felt by people. There's a possibility that even 22 miles away, something might have fell off shelves. But if people live in areas of that town of Secura, Peru, it may not be a developed area. There may have been some people hurt. Now, this just happened in the time since we've been on the air tonight. So we were not aware of it before we went on the air. It's now been almost an hour since we came on the air. But anyway, we will get more information about that earthquake. And when we're able to get that information, we will let you know. All right, there was another earthquake that happened earlier today, about 11:41 this morning. This was a moderate 4.0 magnitude earthquake that happened at Ica, ICA, Peru. Sureste de Nazca, Ica, Peru. Okay, it was in the southern portion of Peru. Let's go south of there to Arequipa. There was a 3.3 magnitude earthquake right near Arequipa, Peru. Okay. That's in south central Peru. South along the border of Peru, near the border of Peru, near Incuelca, Tarapacá, Chile, there was a 3.0 magnitude earthquake in northern Chile today. There's the information if you can see it. Okay, now I'm going to turn down the brightness of my phone here so you can better see it. I'm sorry. Now you should be able to better see it. Okay, just off the coast south of there, Tocopilla, Chile, 60 miles north of Tocopilla, Chile. We had a 3.7 off the coast. Let's go further south. Antofagasta, 3.8. Southeast of there was a 4.5 in the same province, Antofagasta province in Chile. This was a moderate 4.5. South of there, 44 miles south of Soquer, Argentina, we had a 3.2. Argentina, 3.2 there. Then just northeast of there, in Jujuy, Jujuy, Argentina, we had a 4.4. So in that northern part of Chile and Argentina there, we've had 2 4s and 2 3s in northern Argentina and Chile. Okay, let's go south. Catamarca province, Argentina, we had a 3.8. Then further south, we had a 3.0 magnitude quake, 20 miles, approximately 48 kilometers east of San Fabian, uh, Chile. We had a 3.0. That's not all, folks. There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to talk about here. Some of the earthquakes that we've had here have been taken off the map for one reason or another. We had a 5.3 happen over here in New Zealand today. North of there, we had another 5.0 in the Kermadec Islands, which are right about in here. Another 5.0 there in the Kermadecs. That's also been taken off the map for whatever reason. Over in Fiji, we had a 4.6 magnitude earthquake, and this was 131 miles out to sea, southwest of Nodai, Fiji. This was 378 miles deep. 378 miles deep. 658 kilometers. Now, I didn't take the time before I came on the air. I was doing things with my family and I couldn't come on the air until I had finished those obligations. So I did not have a chance to bring this chart up. And I apologize for that. But I'll bring it up right now. Again, this was a deep earthquake, 338. Let me do the math right here. 338 times 2.2, 16, 6, 7, 6, 16, 7, 6. That's 643 kilometers deep. 643 kilometers deep. So let's go down to the depth to magnitude conversion chart. 643 kilometers deep. We have to add a 1.29 to this equation. So when we have a 4.6 and we have to add a 1.29 to this for the corresponding shallower, larger earthquake that's going to happen at some fulcrum point, that means we're going to get a 5.8 to a 6.0 magnitude earthquake from this earthquake down in Nodai, Fiji tonight. And actually, this happened earlier this morning at 1:40 a.m. this morning. All right, Niafu, Tonga. They've downgraded from a 5.0, which it was this morning. It hit at 8 o'clock a.m. Mountain Standard Time. They've downgraded to a 4.9, but you've heard what I think of the 4.9 Society. But this earthquake was not quite as deep. This was 60 miles deep, 4.9 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Niafu, Tonga. Off the coast of Niafu, Tonga in the Tongan Islands. Let me see if I can show you where where this earthquake was, and two, to show you the nearest islands. It was out in the middle of the South Pacific, and it was away from everything and away from islands. I'm trying to find right now the nearest island that I can show you. I think I just found Niafu, Tonga. This earthquake hit northwest of Niafu, Tonga. There's the island right there. Okay. So there's the earthquake, and down here is the island right there. Now, if you'll notice, this earthquake is right along a fracture zone, an earthquake fault in the middle of the ocean. That's why that earthquake happened. That's why that earthquake happened. Today, there was an earthquake, a large 5.1 magnitude quake in the Solomon Islands. Okay, so let's go look. We reported that earthquake over in Fiji today. There's the earthquake in Fiji down here. Here's the earthquake in the Solomon Islands, a 5.1 in the Solomon Islands. Right over here in Vanuatu is where the fulcrum point is, the approximate fulcrum point. We're going to be looking for a 5.8 to a 6.0 magnitude earthquake, probably within the next 3 to 7 days. And I'll even go 10 days. Let's say 10 days, between now and 10 days from now, there's going to be a 5.8 magnitude earthquake somewhere around Vanuatu area. Okay, that's what's going on there. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time telling you about all the earthquakes that happened in Indonesia, but there are many, many earthquakes that did. All of these are 3s and 4 magnitude earthquakes. Okay. 3.8 up in northern Indonesia, Sarangani, Philippines, we have a 3.4. We had a 4.4 over in Belunggala, Indonesia here. Okay, we are monitoring what is going on. Why? Because these 3s and 4s are going to turn into 4s and 5s. And people may get hurt and people may get killed. We must realize that most of these areas are third world countries. Their building standards don't even come up to what most of the building standards are in other more modernized parts of the world. People got hurt and killed over in the Philippines and Indonesia. Okay, one of the other earthquakes we wanted to tell you about was down here in the South Java area. Where did it go here? Please don't tell me that they took it down. There was a 4.8 magnitude earthquake in southern Java. They took it down. In southern Java, we had some 3s, but the earthquakes I want to tell you about, because the other one isn't showing, this is a 4.3 in northern Sumatra. And along with it, just north and west of there, is a 4.0 in Sumatra. I'm sorry, they took it down too quick. This happened at 4:44 today. 4:44 p.m. Mountain Standard Time in Sumatra. Now we had earthquakes over in India and China. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. Yes, we do have people that monitor our program in India. Myanmar, 3.7 today. Burma, 4.5. a 1.7 in Ban Sop Long today. We had a large earthquake over in Afghanistan today. Ash Kasham, 5.0 magnitude earthquake in Ash Kasham, Afghanistan today. These other earthquakes in Iran, Iraq were 3s and 4s. Going over to Turkey, we had some more 3s and 4s. And if you remember, a lot of the earthquakes that we've had in Turkey have been 1s and 2s, and now there's 3s and 4s, and we have had 5s and 6s in Turkey as of late. Central Turkey and Western Turkey as late as yesterday. We still have seismic activity in that area. We've had 50 plus earthquakes over here in northwestern Turkey. That's because we had a very large earthquake there just a few days ago. We're still getting 50 plus earthquakes, 3s and 4s there. Okay. Down here along the Dokanese Islands, where we had another 5.0, we had a 3.0 today in the Dokanese Islands, right there. That's where we had a 5 just the other day. Now over in Crete, we had a 3.1 today. The island of Crete, just south of mainland Greece. Then in Greece, we've had a small swarm of earthquakes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 earthquakes, I believe. A 2.5 in the Aegean Sea over here. Sisthos, 1.9, going north. Polyelos, 1.5. Skorovat, a 2.4. Going back south, Karpanshon, 1.8. Okay, just small earthquakes today in Greece. Up in the North Adriatic Sea, we have a 3.0 and a 2.8 off the coast of Italy today. We have no major earthquake reports to talk to you about Italy. However, Etna, Mount Etna down here in Sicily is erupting. Strong Strombolian eruptions coming out of Mount Etna. Stromboli volcano is just erupting, period. No major activity out of Stromboli, but Etna is erupting in big scale. That's there. Another earthquake in Poland we want to tell you about at 2.8. Again, all this large seismic activity is going up into Northern Europe through the European craton here. That's where the activity is coming from. Now, down here in the southeastern part of Spain, we had a 1.9 and a 1.8 magnitude earthquake. And that's all we had in Spain, 2 minor earthquakes. We had one earthquake over in the Canary Islands at 2.8. 2.8 in the Canary Islands. Now, I want to show you this because we expect to have more earthquake activity on the North Mid-Atlantic Fault. We've had some 4s and even a 5 up here near Iceland in the last week. We don't have any activity down here in the southern Mid-Atlantic or in the Sandwich Islands right now. I believe that's going to ramp up in the coming days. Okay. We told you about earthquakes in South America. Let's go over. Actually, we didn't tell you about everything. Northeastern Venezuela. Sucre, Venezuela had a 3.7 and a 3.5 today. Now, I'm I'm going to go over to Puerto Rico. We have several of our listeners from Puerto Rico, and I did not have time to bring one of them on our show today. And he is a police officer in Puerto Rico. And we are going to bring him on the air in the next day or so. As soon as I can make sure that he is free, we're going to introduce him to you. He is a police officer, and he helped uncover the corruption from hiding FEMA supplies that were hidden by the former government of Puerto Rico, the governor and the mayors and such of Puerto Rico. We are going to let him explain what has happened and some of the corruption behind it all. But within the next day or so, he's going to be a guest on our show, and he's going to be a regular guest on our show going on into the future. We're going to have many guests on this show, again, to bring you the latest information that we can possibly have about emergencies and disasters. Puerto Rico still is in a state of emergency because of all the earthquakes that they've had. Now, this is just another series of earthquakes that continue to happen there in Puerto Rico, in and around southern Puerto Rico. Now, there was a large earthquake that happened here, south of Puerto Rico, 12 miles south-southeast of Guanica, Guanica, Guenica, a large 5.0 magnitude earthquake. This was in the ocean, in the Caribbean, south of Puerto Rico today. Notice all the earthquakes there. There's about 30 of them, just off the coast of Puerto Rico. Our police officer friend lives down along the south coast of Puerto Rico, which makes him an expert on the area. So these earthquakes are all moderate to small earthquakes, small to moderate earthquakes, except for that 5.0 that I pointed out a few minutes ago. There's Guanica, Puerto Rico right there on the southern south central coast of Puerto Rico. Guanica. This particular earthquake was a 3.3 right at the southern coast. Going west along the coast, we had another 3.23 at Lajas, Lajas, Puerto Rico. I'm sorry. There he is, Lajas. Yes, we also had an earthquake north of the Mona Passage, a 2.7 magnitude earthquake. The Mona Passage is this body of water between the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. You can see it here. That earthquake was just north of there. We also had some activity on the Dominican Republic. Guerrera, a 3.6, the Dominican Republic. I'm sorry, that went away. It was in the western part of the eastern part of the Dominican Republic. And then in the eastern area of Haiti, we had a 3.0 today. Haiti is starting to get hit again. It's been quite a number of years since we've had a large earthquake in Haiti. The last earthquake killed thousands of people. Now, we are not showing any earthquakes in the Cayman Islands. We have had earthquakes. This is Central America, folks. Cayman Islands are over in here. There have been no earthquakes today in the Cayman Islands, which kind of surprises me, because we had that 7.7 just south of Cuba, between Cuba and Jamaica. And we've had subsequent earthquakes, and I'm going to point this out where this was. We had subsequent earthquakes right here along the Cayman Trench, 6s. I don't think the aftershocks have settled down there. They're just not showing it on the map. We've had numerous earthquakes over in Central America, and I'm running out of time. I'm not going to name them all. 3.2s, 3.0s. We had in Nicaragua, we had a 3.7 today, going upwards of southern Mexico. We continue to have 3s and 4s all through southern Mexico. You see them there. I don't have time to go through all of them because there are some other earthquakes that we want to touch on. Here's a 3.4 out in the middle of the Gulf of California between Baja and mainland Mexico, right in the middle of the Gulf there along the San Andreas Fault near Santa Rosalia. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Santa Rosalia. Okay, that's there. Over in the Aleutian Islands today. Well, let me back up. I want to show you Japan first. By the way, we had a 4.9 late last night in Taiwan. Not to be unexpected because we expected that. Why? Because we've had large earthquakes over in the Philippines and Indonesia. That's why. Now we're seeing 4.9, 5.0 activity off the coast of Taiwan last night. Southern Japan, Takayama, Gifu, Japan. We had a 3.5, southern Japan. Going further north, Fukushima Kan Oki, we had a 4.5. North of there, Miyaki Ken Oki, we had a 3.0. North of there, up off the coast of Hokkaido, 22 miles east of Namuro, Japan. We've had some 5.0 activity here too. This is a 4.7 off the coast of Hokkaido. North of there in the Kuril Islands, actually, yeah, in the Kuril Islands, we had a 4.4. Over in the mid-Aleutian Islands, we had a 5.3 today. A 5.3 in the Aleutian Islands near Little Sitkin Island, where we have a volcano. Also, they've taken this off the map, but Socio Punakoi. Socio Punakoi, I think is how they pronounce it, where there's a volcano right here in the same area. Right here in the same area, Sukupokoi. We have a volcano that had a 4.9 today. So we had a 5.3 over here at Little Sitkin, and right next to it at the volcano, we had another earthquake. And this is an erupting volcano, folks. An erupting volcano. I'm going over to Alaska. We have a few things to talk about in Alaska today. They've taken it down. There was a small earthquake over at Old Ulama volcano. Old Ulama volcano, a small earthquake today. Looks like they took the one down. There was a small earthquake near Mount Redoubt volcano here. They have taken it down as well. Go figure. Anchorage. We had a 1.7 today in Anchorage. Just north of there in Big Lake, we had a 1.8. And let's go over to Denali National Park off the southeast flank of Denali, or not Denali, southwest flank of McKinley. We had a 1.7. And just north of there, we had a 2.3. So we've had some action in Denali National Park. Northeast of there, we had another 2.3 there. Then we have almost nothing until we get to Manly Hot Springs up in northern Alaska. We had a 1.8 there. And south of there, southeast of there, we had a 1.9 in Healy, Alaska. Now, I'm not going to touch on the other minor earthquakes, but there is one earthquake that I want to talk about. This was up above the Arctic Circle. This was a 3.3 at where? Katavik, Alaska. We have not had an earthquake at Katavik, Alaska for quite some time now, at least probably close to a month. This earthquake is in the oil and gas pumping region of the North Shore of Alaska. North Shore of Alaska. Over here is Prudhoe Bay. Right there's Prudhoe Bay. This is Katavik. Oil and gas pumping region. So that's Alaska. Let's go over to Dawson Creek, British Columbia, where we had a 2.1. Dawson Creek, British Columbia, 2.1. Over in Haines Junction, South Yukon Territory, Canada, a 2.3 today. South Yukon Territory, Canada. And we had other earthquakes up here as well. Northeast of Dawson, Yukon Territory, 3.4. Northern Canada, I'm sorry, I didn't point that out. This is Northern Yukon Territory there. And then down here in Dawson Creek, British Columbia, 2.1. Then we drop down to where? Shelton, Washington. We had a 2.01. Over here in Electric City, Washington, along the Columbia River. Electric City, Washington, we had a 1.21. Lincoln, Montana, Yellowstone, 1.96. We had quite a few earthquakes over here in Yellowstone today. The majority of them, there were 14 earthquakes, and they've taken most of them down. Jackson Hole, Wyoming, we had a 2.12. 2.12 in Jackson Hole. Over here we also had other earthquakes here too, in Yellowstone, in and around Lincoln, Montana, Bozeman area. They've taken them down. But now I want to go down to Preston, Idaho, south of Pocatello, north of the Utah border. Preston, Idaho got hit by 2 earthquakes. Now, I don't know whether they're going to show us both of those earthquakes. Yes, they are. And actually, there's a third. There were only 2 earthquakes earlier. I'll go to this first one here. That's north of them all. This happened at 10:37 a.m. this morning. This was the first of the 3 earthquakes. This was a 1.57 this morning, 10:37 this morning. Then southwest of here, a 1.19, 3 miles west-southwest of Preston, Idaho. Then one other one just south of there, southwest, 1.65. This happened at 10:51 a.m. The top one was 3:31. This was 10:31. This one was at 10:51. And then the third earthquake just northeast of there, 3 miles west southwest of Preston, was a 1.9. A 1.9. So this top one was 1031. This bottom one was 1051. And this middle one was at, was at 1055, 4 minutes later. So literally 3 earthquakes within 24 minutes of each other. These two were within 4 minutes of each other. This one 1037, 1051, this bottom one here, and 1055. Okay, now these were just minor earthquakes. These were ones, but this is in Preston, Idaho. And it's just south of Soda Springs, which is part of the magma chamber of Yellowstone. I have a cousin living in Preston, he and his family. So I'm concerned. This lake that you see right here, he lives near that lake. And this earthquake here is not more than a couple miles from his house. It was a minor earthquake. He probably didn't even feel it. Joe didn't even feel it. But 3 earthquakes near the same magnitude within 24, 25 minutes of each other, something to be concerned about. And we're going to follow it. Okay, that was in Idaho. Let's go over to California. We are supposed to be getting off the air very shortly, but I'm going to take a couple minutes here in California. I feel it necessary to report what is going on in California. By the way, Saratoga, Wyoming had a 3.0. Saratoga, Wyoming. All right, California, here we come. 10 plus earthquakes at the geysers, geothermal power plant again, pulling steam out of the Clear Lake volcano. Going across to Truckee, California, over to Tahoe area, we have a 0.3. Dropping down here further south over to Mammoth, we had 0.75 activity. We had quite a few earthquakes. I'll open this up. 0.75, 0.69, 1.85, 0.74. Minor earthquakes at Mammoth. Over here, east of Monterey Bay, we have a 1.55 at San Juan Bautista and a 1.46 at Prunedale, California, just east of Monterey Bay right here. Dropping down also on the San Andreas Fault, the Pinnacles, a 1.72 on the San Andreas Fault. And by the way, the Pinnacles is also a volcanic area, for those of you that have not been following me for a long period of time. Going over to Fraser Park, California, also on the San Andreas. We had another earthquake today, a 1.3, actually 1.35. Over in the Mojave Desert, Cozo Junction. Had another earthquake in Cozo Junction today. That was a 1.63. Further south, we have a good-sized swarm of earthquakes still occurring over in Little Lake, California, dropping down to Searles Valley and Ridgecrest today. Little Lake, California, 1.1. Searles Valley, 1.05. 0.87. Searles Valley, 1.30. Trona, California, 1.47. 1.47 there. Johannesburg, California, along the Garlock, we had a 1.14. So the Garlock Fault is still alive and well right there. And you can actually see the Garlock Fault here. All right, let's go over to the southern end of it by Fraser Park, just south of the Garlock Fault on the San Andreas. Talked about Fraser Park a few minutes ago. Barstow, California, 2.32 today. Barstow, California got hit. Right there, 2.32. Further along the San Andreas, Redlands, California. We notice we have a swarm that has developed over here, right on and near the San Andreas Fault. Okay. Banning, California, 1.56 and 1.21. Morongo Valley, 1.15. Down here in Hemet, California, where I have friends, right near Paris, California. Hemet, California, had a was 0.93. Anza Gap is getting hit with earthquakes again. The Anza Gap. Lake Henshaw, California, east of Escondido, 1.28. San Diego County, 1.28. Further south, Julian, the Apple capital, 1.65. Apple capital of San Diego, 1.65. And over in Imperial Valley, the Salton Sea area, we have about 15 earthquakes at the south end of the Salton Sea. Let's see what we have. I know what we got, but I want to show them to you. Over along the San Andreas Fault. Now here in the Imperial County, they call it the Imperial Fault. We have a 1.79 in the south end of the Salton Sea. For mapping purposes, they call it 9 miles north-northwest of Westmoreland, California. Let's go over here and see. Doggone, my map just, okay, there it is. My map took a dive for a minute. Okay, I want to show you this. This is important to know. Remember we talked about Calipatria, California, and the geothermal power plant there, just south of Salton Sea? Guess what, folks? Look where all these earthquakes are. This is a 2.1, a mini earthquakes at 2.9 in Calipatria, California, right next to the power plant. Right next to the geothermal power plant, drawing steam out of the Salton Sea, Salton Butte volcano. A 1.65 also there, a 2.02, a 1.88, a 2.25, a 2.10, a 1.97, and a 1.78, all surrounding that power plant. All these surrounding this power plant. Let me show you. There's the power plant, folks. There's one of the earthquakes at the power plant. And there's the other earthquakes surrounding the power plant. Any other questions about geothermal power plants, including geysers? Why do we have earthquakes at these power plants? They've drilled into the earth, many miles in some cases, to harvest steam from these volcanoes. Each of these drill holes, drill points as they call them, are man-made earthquake faults. That's why we have these earthquakes. We have drilled into the earth and seismic energy has hit these earthquake faults, these man-made earthquake faults, drill points. Just like oil and gas, geothermal is the same way. Also, Southeast of there in Nyland, California, we have a 1.62 as well. So we had about 15 earthquakes over there in the south of the Salton Sea. Just across the border, a 1.23, where? Not far from the Cerro Prieto volcano. Not far from the Cerro Prieto volcano. This one is in Progreso. Cerro Prieto volcano is down here. All right. That's that. We're not quite done yet. We're going to get there, I promise. Oklahoma. 1.82 in Ninica, Oklahoma. Ninica, 1.92. And in Bray, Oklahoma, a 2.37. Ninica is right above it, 1.92 and a 2.37 in Bray, Oklahoma, just south of Ninica. East of there, Lilburn, Missouri, the north end of the New Madrid. We have a 1.61, Lilburn, Missouri, north end of the New Madrid Fault. We're watching the New Madrid. We've had some threes there recently. We're watching the New Madrid Fault. Okay, now we've covered the world. Basically, really fast. Within the last hour and a half, we've covered the world. All right. I was not able to sign in to the Freedom Revolution Network. I'm going to try to sign in as soon as I get off this broadcast, which I'm going to do very shortly. I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight on our Emergency Management Associates program tonight. I want to thank all of you that joined us either on YouTube, on the Freedom Revolution Network, where our program is shown, and will be on our Emergency Management Associates program, Emergency Management Associates channel very shortly, and on Facebook, which I forgot to mention at the beginning of this program, as well as iHeartRadio, Pandora, Periscope, DLive, Twitch, and over on Twitter as well, where we have 60,000 followers there. Again, we have quite a coverage. Quite a coverage. Not just on YouTube, folks, where we have 5,000. We have over 100,000 people watching, listening to our program. And we want to thank all of you for being here with us tonight. We want to thank all of you for being with us here tonight. It's a pleasure to serve you. It's a pleasure to be your friend and colleague. Believe me, we do appreciate each and every one of you. We want you to know that. It's very important to us that you know that. Now, I'm going to be playing a video here very shortly. I'm going to end this program. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I ask the Lord to bless you, and do know that we love you. As Walter Cronkite would say, and that's the way it is. Tuesday, February 4th, 2020. For Emergency Management Associates, this is Ron Tyler. Have a good evening, folks. Good night, everybody.